बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदन व्रजजनरंजन यशोदनंदन व्रजजनरंजन यमुनतीरा वनचारी यमुनतीरा वनचारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयति गिरिमित्कृपत्महं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारुं परमानन्दमाधवम् Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 11, verse number 31. Patnaya patim prosya gruhanupagatam vilokya sanjata mano mahotsavaha uttastur arat sahasa asana shayat shakam bratayar bridita lochananaha. What meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace is Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hope you can able to hear me. You can see the text. Anybody
Yes,
can?
Prabhu. Yeah, confirmed. We can see it and also hear it clearly.
Thank you. Patnaya, the ladies, wives of Lord Sri Krishna, Patim, husband Prosya, who was away from home. Gruha Anupagatam, now returned home. Vilokya, thus seeing. Sanjata, having developed. Manah Maha Utsavaha, a sense of joyful ceremony within the mind. Uttastu got up arat from a distance. Sahasha, all of a sudden, asanaha from the seats. Ashayat, from the state of meditation. Shakam, along with Vratai, the vow. Bridita, looking coyly. Lochana, eyes. Ananaha, with such faces. Translation. The queens of Lord Sri Krishna rejoiced within their minds to see their husband home after a long period abroad. The queens got up at once from their seats and meditations. As was socially customary, they covered their faces shyly and looked about coyly. Purport is very, very big. Maybe then and there I read out and I will try to share a few points. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshmur Unmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupakada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Tapatakamulam Sri Guru Vaishnavam Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunadanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahidam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Cha Vishakanvitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastume Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriya Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kupa Sindhubhya Yevacha पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसदि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण। This is the wonderful words which I was reading yesterday, and it gives a lot of information. At the outset, I would like to share saying that these words will teach us how housewife behave, especially in Sanatana Dharma, in Varnashrama system. And the Lord, Supreme Lord himself, he stood himself as an example with all his queens of Dwaraka. So, and a lot more things we are going to learn. So let us meditate a few minutes on this verse. So, as you know, yesterday, Radha Brajavilashini Mataji very nicely explaining how the Lord, nicely exhibit his pastimes. And today also we can learn that these queens of Lord Krishna, they rejoiced within their minds to see their husband home after a long period abroad. The Supreme Lord went to Hastinapura, and he became a messenger of peace, and he made it the project successful, and he is back to Dwaraka now. Now, how is the response from the queens? The queens got up at once from their seats and meditations, as was socially customary. So the Vedic culture, this is the Vedic culture. And they covered their faces, and upon seeing the Supreme Lord, though they have a strong desire to see the Lord because of the separation, and now when they come face to face, they have a kind of shy, and they also look at coyly. Coyly means is a kind of shyness, and they cannot look into the eyes of the Lord, but still they wanted to see the Lord. So in this way, the Lord, would like to see each and every queen. Then how is it possible? So the purport Srila Prabhupada has given very elaborated. So maybe I will read out and I will explain to you. Just a moment. Purport. As mentioned above, the Lord entered his home palaces occupied by 16,108 queens. This is really amazing. And this is the Vaibhava of the Lord. In these words, how wonderful, how unlimited, how his energy is also unlimited. And he is exhibiting his Vaibhava Leela here. This means that the Lord at once expanded himself as many plenary expansions as there were queens and palaces, and entered in each and every one of them simultaneously and separately. This is really amazing. So our great Narada Muni also got sometimes confusion. He was thinking how the Lord can able to enter in not one or two or three, not even 100, not even 1,000, but 16,108 wives and palaces also. The Lord expanded himself, and he was made available with each and every queen. And this is Adbhuta Leela. Nobody can able to do that. And especially in Krishna, who is Swayam Bhagavan, and in Vrindavan and Dwaraka, Madhura, in all these places, Lord exhibited wonderful pastimes which no common man able to do it. So here is another manifestation of the feature of his internal potency. He can expand himself in as many forms of spiritual identity as he desires, even though he is one without a second. It is confirmed by the Shruti mantra that the Absolute is one alone, and yet he becomes many as soon as he so desires. Yes, why 16,000 only? Lord, see, already Lord is present in every living entity's heart as Paramatma. That means as many living entities are there, the Lord is already present in their hearts. So millions and billions and trillions of living entities, not only in this material world, but in the whole universe, the whole cosmos, Lord is present. And This when we compare this, the Lord is present in everywhere. This 16,108 is very insignificant. So these manifold expansions of the Supreme Lord are manifested as plenary and separated portions. The separated portions are representations of his energy, and the plenary portions are manifestation of his personality. Thus, the personality of God had manifested himself in 16,108 plenary expansions and simultaneously entered into each and every one of the palaces of the queens. This is called Vaibhava, or the transcendental potency of the Lord. And because he can do so, he is also known as Yogeshwara. There in the scriptures it is mentioned Yogeshwara Akhila Guru Bhagavan Namaste. So the Lord can do anything and everything because he is master of the all yoga system. Ordinarily, a yogi or mystic living being is able to expand himself at most to tenfold expansions of his body. So, anyway, these yogis, they are all meditating on the Lord. By the mercy of the Lord, they get some yogic power. With that yogic power, they can able to expand only, tenfold. 10 times they can expand, not more than that. But the Lord can do so to the extent as many thousands or infinitely as he likes. This just by the will of the Lord. See, when Brahma also kidnapped the cowherd boys and the cows and calves, and he put them in the cave, and he wanted to, check whether this small boy is really the Supreme Lord. I doubt actually. So he thought like that. But the Lord is unlimited, He expanded Himself into all the cowherd boys, cows, and calves. And Brahma got really, bewildered. Anyway, that is a Brahma Vimochan Leela. So the Lord, just by His will, He can expand Himself in innumerable ways. So now the point Prabhupada explains here, the unbelievers. What do they think? Unbelievers become astonished to learn that Lord Krishna married more than 16,000 queens because they think of Lord Krishna as one of them and measure the potency of the Lord by their own limited potency. So this habit, makes one bewildered and then they become unbelievers. Actually, this is unbelievers, they have a kind of enviousness of the Lord. When the free will exercise this kind of enviousness, and there is no place in spiritual world. That's why Lord created material world, and we need to come to the material world and suffer. So that's why we should not underestimate the Lord. Even his representative spiritual master also, among the 10 offenses, one offense is, to think a spiritual master is an ordinary person is also an offense. So when spiritual master is extraordinary person, what about the Supreme Lord? He is supremely extraordinary person. We should never be envious, but we should always meditate on the Leela of the Lord and be joyful. That is the actual nature of the living entity. Okay. One should know, therefore, that the Lord is never on the level of the living beings who are about expansions of his marginal potency. And one should never equalize the potent and the potency, although there is a very little difference of quality between the potent and potency. So Lord is also called Asama Bhurdva. He is not equal to anybody and nobody is above him. That is why he is called Asama. Asama means not equal. Bhurdva means above. So nobody is equal, nobody is above the Supreme Lord Krishna. So the queens were also expansions of his internal potency, and thus the potent and the potencies are perpetually exchanging transcendental pleasures known as pastimes of the Lord. Vaibhava Leela, the Lord is exhibiting here. One should not therefore become astonished to learn that the Lord married so many wives. On the contrary, one should affirm that even if the Lord marries 16,000 million wives, he is not completely manifesting his unlimited and inexhaustible potency. Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate. So the Lord is completely complete. Whatever if you take from him, but still he become, completely complete. So he married only 16,000 wives and entered in each and every one of the different palaces just to impress in the history of the human beings and the surface of the earth, that the Lord is never equal to or less than any human being. However powerful he may be, no one therefore is either equal or greater than the Lord. The Lord is always great in all respects. God is great is eternal truth. The Prabhupada explains here. So everybody knows that God is great. They may often quote this, oh, God is great. God is, he's powerful. But in Shrimad Bhagavatam, in all the 12 cantos and in various other scriptures, if anybody attentively reads and hears the glories of the Supreme Lord, he will come to know how great the God is. It's a very wonderful subject matter. Okay. Therefore, as soon as the queens saw from a distance their husband, who was away from home for a long period due to the battle of Kurukshetra, they all arose from the slumber of meditation and prepared to receive their most beloved. So, in this second para, Srila Prabhupada explains that how the wife of the Supreme Lord can able to behave. How is that their character? How is their etiquette towards the husband? So here it is mentioned that when the Lord is away, they were meditating on the Supreme Lord. Actually, these days, when the husband is away, wife also meditates, but not on the husband. But she meditates on the so many other things. Okay, husband is not there now. Let me switch on the TV or browse on the mobile, and I can speak to and use the mobile, and I can speak to anyone and everyone and anything, all nonsense. So the wife thinks like that. But as per the religious principles, here Prabhupada has given in the second para, according to Yajnavalka's religious injunctions, a woman whose husband is away from home should not take part in any social functions, should not decorate her body, should not laugh, and should not go to any relative's house in any circumstances. Oh, it looks like very tough for Kali Yuga people, but this is how Yajnavalka religious injunction is mentioned. This is the vow of the ladies whose husbands are away from home. At the same time, it is also enjoined that a wife should never present herself before the husband in an unclean state. She must decorate herself with ornaments and good dress, and should always be present before the husband in a happy and joyous mood. Nowadays, we keep seeing the wives when the husband comes, they do not even open the door. Maybe somebody else, child can open the door, and she's somewhere in the room watching TV and watching mobile phone or talking to somebody. So even though husband comes, they are not joyous. They see what the husband has brought, and they should actually feel happy that the husband reached home safely by the mercy of the Lord. So that habit is not there. But anyway, this is not applicable for the Vaishnavis who got Krishna consciousness, who got initiation in International Society for Krishna Consciousness. The Matajis, though our Matajis are lacking, but by being, in Krishna consciousness, serving very nicely, they also develop this kind of wonderful qualities. Okay, the queens of Lord Krishna were all in meditation, thinking of the Lord's absence, and were always meditating upon him. And the Lord's devotees cannot live for a moment without meditating on the Lord. And what to speak of the queens, who are all goddesses of fortune incarnated as queens in the pastimes of the Lord at Dwaraka. So these queens we cannot underestimate. And they were all, expressions of Lakshmi Devi. Lakshmi Sahasra Sata Sambrama Sevyamanam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. And they are not ordinary people. And they are just expansions of Lakshmi Devi. So they can never be separated from the Lord, either by presence or by trance. The gopis at Vrindavana could not forget the Lord when the Lord was away in the forest cow-herding. When the Lord boy Krishna was absent from the village, the gopis at home used to worry about him traversing the rough ground with his soft lotus feet. By thinking thus, they were sometimes overwhelmed in trance. and mortified in the heart. Such is the condition of the pure associates of the Lord. So this the meditation and the gopis they exhibited. Actually, there is a comparison also by the acharyas, just like Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and other acharyas. They said that the gopis, the bhava of the gopis is higher than the wives of the Supreme Lord at Dwaraka. So why they are always in trance, and so the queens also were in trance during the absence of the Lord. Presently, having seen the Lord from a distance, they at once gave up all their engagements, including the vows of women as described above. According to Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, there was a regular psychological reaction on the occasion. First of all, rising from their seats. Now, here it is being described that how the queens of Dwaraka they responded to the Lord when he entered into their own individual palaces. So they raised from their seats. Although they wanted to see their husband, they were deterred because of feminine shyness. Yeah, this feminine shyness is a wonderful ornament for a woman than the jewelry. So once, even in the 12th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam and elsewhere, it is mentioned that once a woman leaves this kind of shyness, her feminine characters, slowly deteriorates, and she is no more a woman. Only for physical appearance, she is a woman, but when she loses the feminine shyness, and everything is gone. So we can also see these days so many women they are wearing pant and shirt and a t-shirt, and in many parts of the city or all over the world we can also witness that women are smoking, and they are speaking to the man opposite standing, and they were mingling in each and everywhere, and their behavior, their character is lost because they wanted to enjoy the kind of how man enjoys. So as for bodily constitution, it is not possible. Man only can enjoy, a woman also can enjoy, but they have their own sharira dharma. They have to follow accordingly. Okay, so this prime state of ecstasy, but due to strong ecstasy, they overcame that stage of weakness and became caught up with the idea of embracing the Lord. And this thought actually made them unconscious of their surrounding environment. So they wanted to actually embrace the Lord, and but they also see the environment. There are so many others people also there within the palace, so they could not able to do that. This prime state of ecstasy annihilated all other formalities and social conventions, and thus they escaped all stumbling blocks on the path of meeting the Lord. And that is the perfect stage of meeting the Lord of the soul, Sri Krishna. In this way, the Lord entered into the Dwaraka, and also his wives, they were all the time they were meditating. So apart from this, I also noted down a few points which I would like to share with you. Dwaraka Queen's meditation means meditating on the pastimes of Lord Krishna and not on anything else. The Supreme Lord married them in a single muhurta. Like normally we attended so many weddings, we saw only, one husband tying the thali, Mangal Sutra, and one to be wife. So it takes some time, but a normal common person also gets the doubt that how Supreme Lord tied the Mangal Sutra. So this is the Vibhava Leela of the Supreme Lord. He expanded himself into 16,000 Krishnas, and in a single muhurta, and he tied the Mangal Sutra. Eka muhurtena, this mentioning is there in Srimad Bhagavatam. Just like that, he expanded and he tied the Mangal Sutra, and nobody can do this kind of wonderful activity. So That's why here in Dwaraka till today he has been glorified, and there say in Mayapur how Gauranga Mahaprabhu he has been felicitated, how he has been worshipped is nicely there, but in the Gauranga form. But when you come to Dwaraka, he is worshipped as Dwarakadesh Bhagavan. And he is worshipped in the form of a king. And he has got great opulence. And when we had been to Dwaraka, and we have seen a wonderful darshan of the Lord. And in every day, he changes his dress so many times. But I forgot how many times he changes his dress. Maybe at the end of the class, he can share. And Jagat Prabhu was nicely explaining, you have this darshan, and the temple was built by Vajrana, who is the grandson of Krishna. The temple is still existing. Of course, even our Prime Minister also, he dipped into the ocean, and he worshipped the Dwarkadish Bhagavan. So in this way, the Lord exhibited, these unlimited pastimes. So basic natural character of a wife is shyness. That is what in this verse is described. So then Mahaprabhu also concluded. So there is one verse I will just read out. Aradhya Bhagavan Rajeshwara Tanasya Tadharma Vrindavanam Ramya Kachid Upashana Vrajavadu Vargena Ya Kalpita Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam Prema Pumarto Mahan Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Matam Idam Tatradaro Na Paraha. The translation is, it is the conclusive opinion of Lord Chaitanya that the most worshipable form of the Lord is that of Sri Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj. Vrindavan Dhamma is the topmost worshipable abode. The highest, the most pleasing type of worship of Krishna is done by the Brajagopis. Srimad Bhagavatam is the spotless authority on everything, and Krishna Prema is the fifth and the highest goal of life. Chaitanya Matta Manjusha commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam by Srinath Chakravarti. Okay, this is the one I have extracted just to share with you. So the key points from this verse is the Lord exhibited his Vaibhava Leela, and he was present in each and every palace of 16,108 palaces. And also the response, the behavior, the shyness of the queens of Dwarka is also mentioned. The takeaway points, the learning is, we also should follow the footsteps of the Supreme Lord and his queens. And the highest ecstasy is Krishna Prema. At the end of our Sunday feast or Dandavat Pranams, we also say, we are desiring to have that Krishna Prema. Okay, so thank you very much for patiently hearing, and it is time for us to wind up. And I would also like to hear from you any questions or comments. Thank you very much. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Gurudev ki jai. Hare Krishna. Now open to all of you if you have any questions, comments, or add-ons. So kindly, quickly come on the video and unmute yourself so that we can utilize this time in meditating on the Lord.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu. Thanks for a nice class. Of course, it gave a lot of rules and regulations, how especially Matajis or, women, not Matajis, because like you said, Vaishnavis somehow get the blessing. But how do we understand this in today's world? Because many places, like you mentioned, it's become a uniform to wear. They've made uniforms, pant and shirt and things like that in many companies. And so many times women are, just because of their monetary challenges, have to work, unfortunately. And how do we, relate this with this words, Prabhu? How do we take that
Yeah.
message?
So, yes, this is Kali Yuga, which is the degraded one. We are in the beginning of the Kali Yuga. Another for Kali Yuga duration is 4,32,000 years. We have done 5,550 years approximately. So balance 4,27,000 years are there. So our acharyas have already given proper instructions for men and women also. And Srila Prabhupada also, he elaborately mentioned in so many purports of Srimad Bhagavatam Bhagavad Gita, how a woman can dress, how a man can dress. That's why in ISKCON we do follow dhoti, kurta, and sari for men and women, and tilak is common, kantimala is common, and most common is Krishna consciousness. So, according to the spiritual master's instructions, one is supposed to follow. And spiritual master is the one and who can nicely train them, educate them, cultivate their culture, especially the behavior of a woman and also the man. Now, important point is when women not dresses properly, that attracts the men, and slowly, the women will be cheated. The result is, and naturally, women are a kind of innocent, but men come in front of them and prizes and appreciate them, and they may slowly start believing in men, and all of a sudden, I'm talking about materially. So all of a sudden, men cheats and women, and he leaves, and thereby woman gets pregnant, and the man is abscond, and she gets a bad name in the society. So that's why women should be very careful. And Srila Prabhupada mentions in so many places with a lot of sattvic references and Srimad Bhagavatam stories saying that she should not mingle with men and she should refrain from men. And nowadays, how we can also do this, women should be under the guidance of a guru. And in place of guru is not present, guru's pratinidhis, representatives are there, like counselors, shiksha gurus, mentors, they should follow. So women should cover the top and bottom, and she should not, expose herself. This way, they can become Krishna consciousness and chant the holy name of the Lord, read the scriptures, and learn from their counselors. How do they dress? How, in office atmosphere or working atmosphere, in business premises, how do they behave? Is already given. Those who are fortunate, they can follow it. Hope this could answer your question, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. I'm still concerned about that fact that they made it like uniforms. That's the only thing which means you have no other option than to not look at those companies who specifically ask you to.
Yes, wear midis and others.
Yes, I got the point, Prabhu.
So this is up to the management. Even the women also should take her call. There is a one pastime, maybe in a factory, all of them wearing tilaks, and all of a sudden, Muslim has taken over. And he said, I am the owner. You are not supposed to wear tilak. Then next day, all of them, stopped wearing tilak. Only one man, he wore. Then he asked, why are you wearing? Then he said, I sincerely wear this tilak. I believe in the Supreme Lord. And no matter what, whoever says. Then the owner said, you are the right person. I allow only you.
I know that.
So this past time. So women also should be very strong in Krishna consciousness. Even this job is, if it is because the job is not favorable. Anukulyana Krishna Anusilanam. If it is not favorable, I will do the activities which are favorable for Krishna consciousness. That mood should be there. That determination should be there. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. I recollect our sorry, camera I cannot on, Prabhu. Our Shuddhanitai Prabhu was in one such job, which his Guru Maharaj told, no, you should not do this. Then he immediately just quit and he picked up a job which is favorable, Anukula. And then he is happily doing that and serving the Lord. We all know he's serving personally nursing Dev.
Yeah.
So I recollect his experience. He told that. Thank you, Prabhu, for reminding me this.
Hare Krishna. Anybody else? Any other takeaway points?